All right. So I have terrible news for everyone, you guys. Gabrielle had an emergency and is not going to be on the show today. I know it is going to be the worst news anyone's ever heard, but we are still nonetheless going to do the show, and I will make it entertaining because that is what I do. Now, I planned on talking about Kathleen Kennedy here, but something just popped up on my radar that is requiring immediate attention. That is way crazier than the Kathleen Kennedy thing is just funny, you know. What's up, guys? If you've been paying attention to this Kathleen Kennedy thing and you're not laughing at how this went down, then you haven't been paying close enough attention because my goodness. If you don't know who Kathleen Kennedy is, we should probably just start there since I put it on the thumbnail. If you don't know who Kathleen Kennedy is, she took over Lucasfilm when George Lucas sold it to Disney. What's up, everybody? And she had some early successes. We talked about it on the show. And then she decided that a good way to run a company that essentially creates fantasy stories for a male audience is to go in all in woke, right? Because what do male audiences want more than anything? Everybody knows this. This should be a pop quiz that everybody already knows the answer to. We want queers, queer people, and we want, gays and women. We do not ever want to see anyone that looks like us do anything that is exciting or fulfilling for us to watch, because it's like, what's up, Choke? Every single movie that they did or every single show, they're all, we're going to start it. It's going to be a lady. I think we actually just talked about this on the last show, but anyway, so I just always feel like I need to reiterate the point before we get into the new part of the story, because there is a new part of the story. But basically, she started taking shit from the kind of, the Star Wars community made up of men who were sick of woke trash garbage destroying all of their favorite characters. And she is an ego-driven lunatic who had been, she had been working under like Steven Spielberg and those guys and George Lucas forever. And I think she probably had an inferiority complex her entire career. They're not listening to my really good ideas. Jeez. I mean, what does Steven Spielberg know about movies? Why is he not listening to me? I actually heard them make a reference about that one time. That she has a lot of ideas. They were, but so a lot of times people make the mistake of thinking that the person who's always been like your loyal underling is a good person to trust your business to. You're like, oh, this is like it's pretty consistent mistaken outcome, right? Like people are like, oh, I got to hand over my business. And, this person's been loyal to me for 20 years. I'm going to give them power. And they think that person will remain in the same type of role relationship with you as they were when you were the boss. And then you give them the power and they're like, now I'm in charge, you fucks. And I'm not listening to anyone. And I think Kathleen Kennedy is a tremendous example of this. And given that she had this inferiority complex, she just decided, I don't care about success. I'll just go to war with these guys. And I will do literally the exact thing that they are saying that is making them hate the franchise every single time. So yeah, Kathleen's own mother hates her. Does she even have kids? She does. I don't know if she has kids. She's definitely married. But so basically, I am guilty of paying a lot of attention to the community that shits on Kathleen Kennedy because I loved Star Wars. And I did use that in past tense. I was a huge Star Wars fan. Not like, huge Star Wars fan. I went to see all the movies, I always went to the movies. I would go, who's the Gabi imposter in the comments? What you talking about, Willis? Yeah, Gabby's out today, dude. Unfortunately, she is going to be gone today. But Anyway, so like when I saw this like phenomenon on YouTube start, it's like I couldn't get enough, man. I literally couldn't get enough. I'll show you my absolute favorite anti like Kathleen Kennedy Star Wars video of all time. It's so good, dude. It's this one right here. That's 10 million views now, which is bananas. It's this one at the top. The Last Jedi, a complete cinematic failure. It is so good, dude. This guy Vito is hilarious. Here, watch this.
There's lots of stuff we could talk.
Wait, no, wait. Is this it? Yeah, this is it.
About. We're not going to talk about Star Wars. Maybe when the movie comes out, I will talk about Star Wars.
Have you guys seen this?
I don't know how you make a movie as bad as The Last Jedi. It takes one of the most beloved franchises of all time, throws it in the trunk of a car, and then backs it into a river. I'll probably keep going to see these movies just because it's interesting to see how much money you can spend setting a dumpster on fire. But I definitely have no emotional investment in this terrible fan fiction written by a gang of idiot children. This movie fails on so many levels that I don't even know if I can cover all of them in one video, but I'll try. And
oh man, it's so good, dude. No, that's her. Yeah, that's Gabrielle. That's not imposter. That is Gabrielle's personal account. She doesn't have like a channel, but that's her account. She comments and stuff. But anyway, so attaboy. It's good. It's good to take your meds, dude. Anyway, so like so what happened, I guess this would have been last week or the week before, is it got announced that Kathleen Kennedy was stepping down. Now, if you follow that community over there, they say that Kathleen Kennedy's stepping down like once every fucking it constantly say, she's done, dude. Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down. They do it probably like 3 times a year. There's like a rumor 3 times a year for the last 8 fucking years. We're talking about Kathleen Kennedy, the girl who the woman who's been running Lucasfilm Star Wars, and literally the most woke Disney executive ever. I mean, I don't even think she's really actually woke. I think she is just like the ultimate. She's feminist woke, right? And then she just hates us more than anything. Like look at this, dude. This is like, you had to know, right? When she took over the company and she did this, right? She's like, here we go, guys. She's like, this is the new Star Wars 2017. Look at that. That's like when, you know, this is like almost 10 fucking years ago. Whoa. It's almost 10 years ago. This is before the shit really hit the fan. And, you know, you see a thing like this, the Force is female. What the fuck are you talking about? You know? What are you talking about? Anyway, so, oh, dude. That is you know what, dude? After I get done with this rant, we're going to talk about all of that because the world is falling apart and it's pretty fucking scary. I'm not going to lie. There's I got a lot to do on my channel today because there is an active war going on between, like, now I knew when Trump won that there would be a moment where the like elites attack the economy. I knew it, dude. And there is something big going on right now, like right now. I'll go over that in a second. But so, yeah, right, dude. Kathleen Kennedy. Later, let's do this. Kathleen, this will make you hate the world. Kennedy net worth. Oh, 300 million. No, yeah, 300 million. So, anyway, so Kathleen Kennedy takes over Lucasfilm from George Lucas, and the first thing she says is, "No, it's an all-girls club, you fucks. Fuck you. Fuck everyone. You're all okay." This is a good start. Said no one ever. Anyway, so after her being like public enemy number one for this entire tenure. Week before last, this gets announced that she's stepping down, and this time it's for real. It's like getting it's getting announced by all these different like legit outlets, Hollywood Reporter and all them. They're like, she really is done. So everybody goes and does a rain dance on her grave on YouTube. Everyone's all, like all the YouTubers that hate her are like, she's finally leaving. It's hilarious too, because it's actually at this point super fucking performative from them, because none of them actually give a fuck about Star Wars anymore. You know what I mean? Like I watch their channels. I have a real good, I have a good, handle on where they're at with things. And every time Star Wars puts out, I mean, there was a moment where it was like, we need to get her out of there because this is a disaster. Everything is worse than the next, but like there was still hope to like salvage Star Wars. At this point, Star Wars is so dead and buried. It's like there's no way. There is absolutely no way that you can revive that brand. It's not possible. I'm telling you that. Like, it's not possible. The only way that you could do it, honestly, there's one, not two, one option for reviving the Star Wars brand. And no one is going to convince me otherwise. And that is, you literally do a new movie or series of movies where you use Harrison Ford, fucking, Luke Skywalker, and you pretend this whole thing just never happened. Just fucking pretend it never happened. I feel like these studios never have the balls to do that, dude, where they're like, no, we can't do that. Like, we already told this story. It's like, how'd that go for everybody, dude? If you do a new movie and you're like, let's just forget about all of that. And now Luke Skywalker's alive again. Han Solo's alive again, and we're going to kind of, we're going to do this thing right now. Everyone will go see that movie and you could revive the franchise. But what they had, they killed that shit deader than dead. Like just a complete reboot is the only way they could do it. But anyway, so when everybody rain danced on her grave, she did not like that one bit. And so she came out and she's all, I'm not retiring. Okay. Listen, I am not retiring. As a matter of fact, who does, like, this is one of those moments where I will tell you right now that there is a YouTuber that will do a better job of explaining this than me. And I love his channel. And even though he has 2.2 million subscribers, it is possible that you guys do not know who he is. And thus we are going to watch this together. All right. So this is Critical Drink. You know what? Let's watch both these, dude. I fucking love this guy. Okay. So this is when they announced that she was retiring. Hold on. Critical Drinker's channel, if you're like a movie person, is amazing. I insta-click every time he uploads, dude.
It's done. Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
Well, it finally happened. After years of rumor and speculation, false claims, deception, and ejaculation, it seems that Kathleen Kennedy is finally leaving Lucasfilm. I know, we've heard this same thing 100 times over from every clickbait algorithm-chasing rumor merchant on YouTube, but in this case, it looks like it's actually legit. All the major trades are reporting the same thing. She's decided to step down when her contract expires at the end of this year.
Hey, decided to step down when her contract expires. Okay. Hey, all right. Yeah, probably that versus Disney was like, yeah, we're good, dude. We're going to go ahead and go a different direction since you fucking single-handedly ran the most valuable franchise in history into the ground, dude. Be funny if we found out she's a female version of Weinstein, female woke movement. Yeah, I mean, yeah, thank you for the super chat, my dude. That would be hilarious. I think that she is more, I don't know, dude. Like, she's garbage. She's garbage. But something tells me she's not putting hands on dudes or girls. I would imagine there's nobody putting their hands on that. Ugh. She probably pays people. Like, she probably has like someone that she pays and she barely ever talks, like doesn't even talk to them, and she's like, okay, get out. Get out. I'm too powerful to have relationships with people where I let them touch me.
She hasn't been fired, she's not leaving in disgrace, and she hasn't been forced out by some internal coup. She's going out as we all knew she would, when she was damn well good and ready, probably to a shower of Lifetime Achievement Awards, meaningless accolades, and fake praise from the shill media, not to mention the golden handshake to end all golden handshakes, but leaving she is. This, dear viewer, is it. The Kennedy era of Star Wars is at an end. And wow, what an era it's been. Tell me, what was your favourite aspect of her tenure? Was it her stunning and brave decision to relaunch a multi-billion-dollar franchise with a trilogy of movies that had no particular plan or creative roadmap? Was it her savvy move of hiring an arrogant, pretentious wannabe auteur with zero respect or understanding of the franchise, and then giving him a creative blank check to write the middle entry of a trilogy where he ended up killing off most of the major storylines and characters?
Looking back, would you change anything in your script if you stand by all your choices?
Nope, stand by every choice. Stand by every choice. Stand by every choice.
Dude, what's hilarious about that is when they were making that movie, The Last Jedi, where, you know, for those of you guys who like don't watch Star Wars, let me just give you like a little bit of context here. Okay. Luke Skywalker is the fucking star of the original Star Wars trilogy. He is the biggest deal. He's the biggest character in all of Star Wars by 100,000 miles. Okay. Him and Darth Vader. And he wasn't part of the prequel, you know, the prequel trilogy that George Lucas did, because obviously he would have been a baby, or not, actually, no, non-existent. He became a baby at the very end of the prequel trilogy. So like when they do the sequel trilogy, everybody knows that he's going to be, that it's like Luke Skywalker is going to be in this trilogy, dude. Right? Like Luke Skywalker is going to be in this trilogy. It's the biggest deal ever. And the entire first movie, The Force Awakens, is all about where's Luke Skywalker? We need fucking Luke. And that movie was good because J.J. Abrams did it. And I know people like to shit on J.J. Abrams. I think he makes, you know, good stuff sometimes. Anyway, but like it was all, where's Luke? Is Luke, he's the chosen one, right? He is going to save the day, yada, yada. So for some reason, he didn't end up doing the second movie, and they gave it to Rian Johnson, who's not a Star Wars fan. He has done some excellent movies like The Glass Onion and Knives Out. I enjoy those films. He also did Looper, one of the best movies ever. Certainly one of the best sci-fi movies ever. And he just literally was like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to insert a bunch of diversity, and I'm going to make Luke Skywalker into an ineffectual weirdo hermit that doesn't believe in anything. I'm going to make him literally the exact opposite of what he was in the original movies, because I'm not a fucking fan of the films. So why would anyone have hired me? It makes no sense. And I'm going to turn it like, and then basically the whole thing is going to be the new Luke Skywalker, who coincidentally is a brunette girl, like every fucking hero in Lucasfilm since Kathleen Kennedy. She's going to beg me to train her, beg me. And then I'm just going to be like, no. I don't care about anything. Then I'm going to not do anything. Then I'm going to show up, except not really show up. And then I'm just going to die. It was like, and I remember when they were promoting the movie, what's his name, who plays Mark Hamill, who plays Luke Skywalker, was literally going to these fucking conferences and being like, the character in this movie is not Luke Skywalker. He's like, I went to Rian Johnson. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? This is not Luke. What is this? And Rian Johnson was just like, shut up, Mark Hamill. You know, hey, shut up, Mark Hamill, the actor who played Luke Skywalker in the original trilogy. What do you know about who Luke Skywalker is? I mean, you literally are Luke Skywalker, but I know better who that person is. Like, that's what's the most ridiculous. It's like these actors become the character. Like, they know who the character is. If you played him in 3 movies, you know who the character is. And Rian Johnson's like, no. And like Disney, I think, actually gave him like some kind of like, they like censored him or whatever. They're like, you need to, oh yeah, dude. Oh, we're going to go into, I mean, I covered, I did a 2-hour live stream on my main channel about Zelensky on Saturday. But there's a lot of shit that's happened since then that I am definitely going to be covering today on my channel. It's fucking scary, dude. At least scary to me. Anyway, so I found that absolutely hilarious that even Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself, is like, this guy has no idea what he's doing, and then it ended up being the thing that broke all of Star
It was
Wars.
the way she wisely failed to properly manage her writers and directors, hiring people who were totally unsuited to the task at hand and leading to costly replacements midway through production. Was it her inspired choice to scrap the hugely popular expanded universe that had been slowly built up over decades, only to realize later that her functionally retarded story group wasn't able to come up with any good ideas of their own, forcing them to steal characters and storylines from the very media that they erased from canon? Was it the way she bravely presided over a 50% drop in revenue over the course of the sequel trilogy, not to mention the first outright box office flop in Star Wars movie history? Perhaps it was the endless stream of speculative new film and TV projects that were announced.
You get the point. So now here's him covering what happened this last week.
A couple of 100 years ago, when the height of military technology was the flintlock musket, part of the process for loading it involved pulling the hammer back to the halfway point, known as the half-cocked position, so that you'd have enough room to fill the primer pan with gunpowder. It was also useful as a kind of basic safety catch, because the hammer wouldn't engage from the half-cocked position, no matter how hard you pulled the trigger. Unfortunately, sometimes in the heat of battle, soldiers would get a bit ahead of themselves and forget to pull the hammer back all the way, so that when they actually tried to shoot at the enemy, the safety would stay engaged and the gun wouldn't fire. Hence the expression, going off half-cocked, i.e. rushing into something without being properly prepared with disastrous.
You guys ever seen a video of what one of those flint musket rifles, like the damage that one of those things does? I think everybody thinks of those things as like, I don't know, actually. I don't know what people think of them, but I always thought of them as kind of like, all right, you know, they're so rudimentary in how they work compared to current guns that, like, whatever. I saw a video on YouTube of what happens if you get shot with, like, what the damage those things do. First of all, they weren't very accurate and all that, but like, oh my God, if you got hit with one of those things, it's basically like a 12 or 10 gauge slug every time. It was gnarly, dude. Unrelated to this, but
Consequences. I bring this up because it seems particularly relevant to the absolute shit show surrounding Kathleen Kennedy and the eternal question of when, how, and indeed if she'll ever leave her office at Lucasfilm.
Never.
A few days ago, when Puck News broke the story about her plans to step down at the end of the year, it was picked up by every major news outlet and YouTube channel with even a vague interest in Star Wars, including yours truly. Yeah, we'd heard plenty of rumors like this before, but this was the first time that it felt real and plausible. Kennedy was old as fuck by this point. She'd been at Lucasfilm for what felt like half my lifetime, and she'd presided over a disastrous series of critical and commercial failures and embarrassments that had left the company with no more assets to exploit. It was pretty widely known that just like a gambler on a losing streak with nothing but the shirt on his back, she'd been holding out for a big win to finish up her tenure. Let's be real here, I don't think there's any big wins in Star Wars' future, at least in the short term, and if they're ever going to happen, it certainly won't be because of you, sweetheart. Oh. But hey, Andor
oh man, I hope she fucking watched that, dude, because that would have really pissed her off, that line right there.
Season 2 is on the way, and while it'll probably be watched by an audience of literally hundreds, it'll at least give her the critical success she could use to justify her exit on a high. All of this is to say that it really felt like the time was right for her to go, maybe announcing her departure at Star Wars Celebration in April, and spending the rest of the year collecting pointless awards and prepping her successor to take over. That is, until Puck News broke.
Every time that I watched her at one of those things, like where she was like speaking in advance and just acting like everything's cool at Star Wars, I just was like, what fucking world is this woman living in, dude? Like, you have destroyed this franchise. Why are you pretending like things are going well? I don't understand. I don't understand. She must know where Bob Iger's like mistress's body is buried or something.
The story ahead of schedule, forcing her to do an interview with Deadline where she clarified the situation. Quote, "The truth is, and I want to just say loud and clear, I am not retiring. I will never retire from movies. I will die making movies."
What just happened? Yeah, you know what's funny about that though is she's not retiring. She probably, because she's, you know, who she is in the industry, she'll probably end up like producing some movie right after this that'll do $1 billion, and you're just gonna be like, of course, because you know, apparently that's what happens on Earth if you sell your soul to the devil. Is like everything just goes your way no matter what, no matter how much you don't deserve the success. You know, the guy who made the video is Critical Drinker. He's fucking amazing.
Right.
You know, it's actually kind of funny reading this now because you can tell how angry she is that she's having to defend her own career now. The passive-aggressive attitude is practically dripping off the page. It's like a kid that's been told to eat their vegetables one time too many, has a complete meltdown and screams, "You know what? I'm never eating food again, ever." I also like this question where the interviewer asks her about the chaos surrounding her possible departure. Chaos? There's never been any chaos because we know exactly what the plan is.
Okay.
Really?
You know, that's kind of ironic considering your entire tenure at Lucasfilm has been nothing but chaos from start to finish. In fact, it's one of the many reasons you've run that studio into the ground. You had absolutely no plans for Star Wars beyond...
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
You stumbled drunkenly from lucky success to failure to even bigger failure with no idea of how to fix it and no understanding of what you were even doing wrong, and you stuck your fingers in your ears and refused to listen when anyone tried to help you. Oh, just as a little side note to that, by the way, I can tell you with a high degree of confidence that Kevin Feige wasn't just brought in to make a single Star Wars movie a few years ago. He actually came in with a fully comprehensive 5-year plan to unfuck the franchise and get it back on track, and was promptly told to piss off by Kathleen Kennedy before he'd even finished his presentation, which is why there's been no further talk about collaborating with each other.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Let's just say there's no love lost there. I also like how she tries to justify the endless stream of projects that get announced and then go nowhere. It's very hard for anything to happen within Star Wars without some aspect of it becoming public before you even want it to become public. So I guess managing the message in some way is also quite a challenge because, of course, not every single thing we put in development we're going to make.
Son of a bitch!
Motherfucker, you're the one who announces all these phantom projects, you absolute moron. It's not like they're getting surreptitiously leaked by some deep cover insider here. You're choosing to make official announcements at major events.
Literally going on stages and announcing them. We are doing the new Rey trilogy. Here's Rey. Everyone's like, yay. It's like, you know, before they let people in the building, they're like, hey, who you voting for? They're like, what? Kamala? They're all, that's you goddamn right you are. Come on in. Like, if your franchise, okay, like I cannot, if I was going to go into Hollywood and just be like, okay, guys, look, I know probably don't agree on whether or not Leah Thomas is a hero or a, you know, weirdo, right? But I can give you some advice that will be very helpful to your bottom line, okay? If I can identify your political leanings in your big franchise, that's bad, okay? That's bad. You're Hollywood. You're supposed to entertain people, okay? Do you think, like, hey, I'll tell you what. Go make a movie, right, that is about a hero who's a real estate developer from New York, right, who runs for president after being on a reality television show and goes up against the deep state and make him look like an absolute hero. Okay, why would you not do that? Well, we don't want to do that, A, because he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. But also because, you know, we don't want to alienate. I mean, like, no one we know would ever go see a movie like that. You're all, yeah, I know. So what would make you think that anyone I know would go see your stupid ass movie about a lesbian librarian becoming the general of an armada in space who answers only to an actual general who is also a woman with a female hero in the same movie where you take our guy who has been the hero of the entire franchise for 30 fucking years and you make him drink green milk out of an alien body and then refuse to do anything heroic and then just die. Like, do you think there's any like misunderstandings about which political leaning you have? Why don't you just make a movie about like Like, do you think you're gonna make $1 billion on a Black Lives Matter movie? Like, give me a fucking break, dude. You just shouldn't know anyone's politics if you're making entertainment. That should be the goal. Listen to Michael Jordan. Republicans buy sneakers too.
About projects that have all the detail and planning of a couple of sentences scrawled on the back of a beer mat. Of course, people are going to assume that they're going to get made when the studio themselves make the announcement. Man, it seems like us YouTubers aren't the only ones to go off half-cocked. But it's the next paragraph that's really important, so pay attention, 007. What's happening at Lucasfilm is I have been talking for quite some time with both Bob and Alan about what eventual succession might look like. We have an amazing bench of people here, and we have every intention of making an announcement months or a year down the roads. Interesting. On the one hand, she claims that she's not retiring from movie making, but on the other, she admits that she's been talking about succession for ages and that she'll make the announcement months or a year before it actually happens. Like at Star Wars Celebration, with the intention of stepping down by the end of 2025, you mean? And here's the kicker. 2 final questions. Will you step out as Lucasfilm boss this year? We really don't know at this stage. There's so much going on, Mike. I don't know.
Right.
Now, the general rule with interviews like this, whether it's politics or entertainment, is that if you don't explicitly deny something, then it's...
Yeah, it means she is stepping down. Here's the thing about it, though. I will actually defend her on that interview only because the way that actually reads to me is it sounds like they had not announced that to Lucasfilm. And so the entire fucking company probably saw it. They're all, wait, is Kathleen stepping down? And as much as like she's a horrific boss who has driven that company. I mean, her stepping down is not even going to matter. Her entire staff are all people that are like, oh my God, it's just so heroic that they made that movie about the fucking trans cartel person. Yeah. Oh, you guys, Gabrielle just got done. She's coming, dude.
Hi.
Yeah, come up.
Okay, I'll be up there.
She's also sick. But yeah, I mean, like, so the rank and file, I mean, they still got to like run the company, you know. They still got to like run the company. So it's like she comes out and hey, it's not for sure yet. So, you know, we're figuring out who's going to take over or whatever, because it's, you know, internal people yapping, whatever. But it is funny. I like to see her kind of struggle and stammer, because I know, like, there's actually nothing that pisses me off in Hollywood more than when vindictive producers make content specifically to say fuck you to me, you know, which is exactly what Star Wars has been doing. And so was Joker Folie à Deux. That's the most egregious example of all time. The new Joker movie. If you guys are, I mean, we only got 120 people watching, but I guarantee you that there's probably a good half of you who are not super dialed into this stuff. So let me just explain one of the most insane fucking things that like a Hollywood story ever. So the first Joker movie, okay? The first Joker movie, I mean, it's not a matter. I mean, if you do 340 videos, that's a lot of content, man. And it's more like time and analytics and stuff that's going to dictate whether YouTube's going to start suggesting you. But I mean, I take anybody seriously who does fucking 100+ videos. Anyway, but on the Joker one, so they market that movie, the original Joker, and for some reason it got thrown into this political thing where it was like, oh, this is glorifying incels. Like, you know, this is a movie that all the incels are going to love because it's about a disgruntled, mentally ill guy who's lonely, who ends up like shooting up stuff. And that narrative like went wild all over the internet. And I actually think it was incredibly clever fan baiting. I think that's what that was. I think. Which in that case, fan baiting is where they intentionally put controversial, like they pretend like there's outrage in the populace to just like drive stories about the movie. And Star Wars was they did this all the time, except they're so fucking stupid they didn't realize that like you are actually fan baiting in every aspect, but like the actual fans are the ones you're baiting, and it's making us hate you, and it's gonna kill your business. It's really ridiculous. But the Joker one, it was like, oh, it's the incel's dream, and that was ridiculous. That's not what that movie was about. Like, and that's also not why the movie did so well. But the movie did $1 billion, right? It's basically, if you take the movie Taxi Driver and then insert Joker, like, it's very clearly heavily influenced by Taxi Driver. If you've never seen Taxi Driver, you should definitely see. That's a great movie. It's one of those old movies that like everyone knows about, but it's so old that people are like, there's no way it's going to be good. It's too old. It's like, no, it's fucking good, dude. There's a reason why people still talk about it. Watch that fucking movie. But anyway, so it does $1 billion, right? And what is that? What's the message? Like, what's the message that gets sent to woke Hollywood who thinks that they're in some culture war? It's like, wait a minute. So that movie was made for like right wingers and it did that well. Ooh, that just really grinds my gears. So they do a sequel, and in the sequel, they're like, I know, since Joker seems to have been their hero, let's make a movie where it's not only, like the way that Joker ended, the obvious next step was Joker on a rampage. Have you seen fucking Batman? Have you seen The Dark Knight? Like, Joker is a psychopath. He's a lunatic psychopath. So the next step was him going psychotic and blowing shit up. And instead, they made a fucking musical. A musical. How
did we get on this topic?
Because we're doing a video about Kathleen Kennedy saying she was stepping down and then she changed her mind.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh.
And now, so they do a musical, and then here's the plot of the movie, okay? Harley Quinn falls in love with Joker while he's in Arkham Asylum.
That's Rikers in Gotham City.
Yeah, I guess. Well, Rikers is a prison. Arkham is like for insane people.
Oh.
No one. We could Pepsi challenge that, my man. No one hates musicals more than me. Or you can maybe hate musicals as much as me, but no one hates musicals more.
When he realized that the new Mean Girls was a musical,
oh my God,
he just about lost his mind in the theater.
I'll tell you exactly what I did. Is I put on my noise canceling headphones and watched a movie on my fucking phone. And then when I got home, I went on a 6 slide rampage rant on my Instagram story about it. But yeah, so the plot of this movie, Harley Quinn falls in love with him at Arkham, and it's all about, is he the Joker or is he whatever the fuck his name is, right? And they go through, and then he figures out at the end, you know what? I'm not the Joker, okay? I'm not the Joker. And then he gets killed. And by the way, you want to know how he found out he wasn't the Joker? Is a group of brutal fucking prison guards raped him in the bathroom. Okay, so like the Hollywood people, without a doubt, they're like,
hey, Sandy.
They were angry that people loved the original Joker because it was supposedly a right-wing movie. And so they're like, well, let's have the main character get gang raped. And then we'll have him decide he's not actually the hero that these little incels want. And then we'll just have him die. And actually, and just to make sure they all hate it, we'll make it a musical. You're like, wow, that's subtle, guys. Really subtle.
Love that.
Yeah. So
what did she say? Why is she not stepping down?
We've already gone through all of it. Now we're going to move over to this other thing. Well, basically she is stepping down. But it got leaked before she had announced it to the internal team. And so everyone went and danced on her grave. All the YouTubers were like, she's fucking gone. She's gone. And then she had to come out and do this interview. And she's so passive aggressive. She's like, look, I'm never retiring. Okay. This is all my choice.
Yeah.
That I'm not coming back. This is my choice. So just so we're clear, I'm not being fired. It's my choice.
Okay.
Okay. Now check this out. Okay. Well, hey, good news,
You
Roger.
can rewind it.
Gabrielle just got here. So
I
you actually
did.
only missed 40 minutes of me talking fucking nonsense.
I
Now
did just get here.
yeah.
Sorry, I double booked myself.
she did. Gabrielle's on the struggle bus this week, you guys.
Yeah. So
Like for real on the struggle bus.
no,
Like hysterical.
without like I don't
Just
know,
tell 'em, dude.
taking like 20 minutes of our time.
Tell him, dude.
Jesse and I got IVs, which we've done forever, but now I'm actually thinking that they might not be good for me either. So I have an MTHFR mutation.
All of them are fine, just not the NAD.
No, because the B vitamins in there. I don't know if they're
Oh.
yeah. So if any of y'all have an MTHFR mutation, you know what I'm talking about. It's a genetic mutation where you can't properly methylate B vitamins. Hey, my dude, good to see you. Anyways, it's like it creates problem with methylation. And I have a homozygous mutation, which means that I have a double mutation on one of my genes. So
Hang on, Gabrielle. It's not just you.
It's not
we're
just
explaining
you.
we're explaining it
I'm
right
explaining
now.
why right now.
Yeah.
I am low-key sad. Inexplicably. Well,
Low-key, not low-key at
not
all.
low-key.
Nothing fucking
Not
low-key
low-key.
about
I'm
it.
having like a really bad 72 hours. So anyways, long story, super, super long. We got
NAD shots.
We got NAD shots and IVs with B vitamins, and I cannot process synthetic B vitamins. And I didn't even think about it. I did not even think about the fact that NAD was a B vitamin and that I was getting all of these B vitamins in this IV. And I think that I completely like overloaded my system. I felt really great the first day. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and today it's really difficult to explain.
She's in like a constant state of panic attack.
I don't get panic attacks.
Ever.
Like I'm not a panicky person. I'm not an anxiety person. It's not normal for me. And this is like, it's debilitating. And that's the only thing that I can think of.
It's that for sure.
It's
that for sure. Once we looked and it was like, oh, if you have this mutation,
like I can't breathe right now.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It feels like there's an elephant sitting on my chest and there's no reason why.
Yeah. There's like really no reason, right?
Like no reason. Everything in life is just fine and perfect and great. It's a literal like chemical thing happening right now. So
dude,
yeah.
And like, so it just like the first night when it happened, she's like, I cannot remember what you said.
It was on Friday night.
I know, but
Yeah,
you said
like
something. You said something to me where I was like, "Oh, she's on fucking." I was like, Gabrielle, okay, you just need to go to bed because like that's one of the most irrational thoughts I've ever heard you say ever.
It's so weird.
Yeah,
it's so weird, and I literally can't like.
Well, we got this supplement that is supposed to break it down because like she can't break it down, so it just sits in her system.
Yeah, I'm like toxically over, like my homocysteine levels are probably like just sky high right now. It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
So now I know no more NAD shots unless it's methylated form.
Dude, and NAD is the shit.
Oh, I felt so good right afterwards. Like for that entire day, I literally felt like I could fly. Like I felt so good. And then Friday morning, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, why do I feel so off? And I've had really bad RLS too, which I don't get ever.
I get it all
like,
the time.
My skin is crawling. I feel like there's an elephant sitting on my chest. Like, it's weird. Y'all, it's weird.
I feel better at least knowing what it is though. Cause like for the first couple of days, I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, and I can't regulate temperature either. Yeah. Like now I'm either freezing cold or boiling hot. There's no in between. It's bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, dude. But well, it's not our doctor. It's like
she's a mobile nurse.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just didn't mention it.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, we never even thought about it.
I don't know why I didn't.
It's never an issue. We got IVs before. She's just never gotten an NAD shot before.
Yeah, but I've had a few episodes of this throughout life, like very, very, very rare. But I wonder now if they're tied to
when you got B vitamin shots.
Yeah,
maybe.
Because I haven't had a whole bunch in my life either.
It would have never crossed my mind.
Never.
Until this one.
Never.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah. Anyway, but check this out. Speaking of strange. Okay. So this is amazing, you guys. So I saw this right before we got on. So Casey Anthony is an LGBTQ and women's rights advocate now.
No,
and she says she's standing in the light. Anthony claims it's her duty to defend people who are being attacked. one of the main reasons that I'm doing this is there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. As a proponent of the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights, I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me. Now look at it as a blessing and opposed to the curse that has been since 2008. It's like, I mean, I guess so, but you did kill your kid. So there's that. You killed your kid. You like buried your kid in a shallow grave a mile from your home.
After
lied about
leaving
it
her in the trunk for God.
after leaving her in the trunk until she fucking decomposed and you had to get rid of her. And were such a fucking good compulsive liar that you never cracked under pressure, never cracked under questioning when literally 100% of people knew you did it. Like, oh, you guys don't know Casey. Okay, Casey Anthony.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow, I know this story real well. So Casey Anthony was
one of the worst human beings ever.
There's definitely something wrong with her. Like, there's definitely something wrong with her. I don't think she's like malicious though. She's not like an evil person. She's not an evil person. She's not. I've got her fucking
She's a
pegged.
sociopath.
She is a fundamental compulsive liar, probably a sociopath, but like she doesn't like intend to hurt people. She
just doesn't care if she
doesn't care, and she's insanely selfish. Like, she's sociopath, actually. Yeah.
That's what I said.
You're right. But so she was
20
years. Okay. Actually, she was in high school
when she's like 6 months pregnant, and she's just lying to everyone about it. Like, she's like, no, I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant. She just wouldn't tell it. It's like, she's fucking obviously pregnant. And she's like a little girl too. Yeah.
Finally, like, she's never even, like, her parents are like, okay, Casey, you're pregnant. And her brother, like, I've heard all these recordings of her brother that like she never tells the truth. Like, she's just like, there's something wrong with her. She never tells the truth.
Compulsive liar.
So like, to the point where she could be 7 months pregnant before they finally were like, okay, Casey, like, you're obviously pregnant. So she was pregnant. Obviously she has a kid. So that's how she has a baby. She doesn't know who the dad is. Right. So her parents are helping her raise the kid. And she was like working at like Universal Studios in Orlando. Okay. And she only worked there for 3 months. And then she's leaving home every day, pretending that she's going to Universal Studios while she doesn't even have a job. She's just going and fucking around, lying to her parents. Parents taking care of the kid. And she's 21, and she wants to go out.
Mm-hmm.
So she keeps on going out. Now, everyone's essentially known now after years and years and years is what she was doing was she was giving little bits of Xanax to the baby when she would go out, so the baby would sleep while she was gone, right? So all of a sudden, like, the way this whole thing actually started was her mom calls the cops, this frantic phone call, like, my daughter just told me that my granddaughter was kidnapped a month ago. And she's been running around looking for her, and she didn't tell the police. So like, right out of the gate, you're all, what? Like,
that makes no sense.
Your daughter, like, wait, hang on, Casey, your story is that your daughter got kidnapped a month ago and you just didn't tell anybody. Like,
that poor baby.
Yeah. So she told her that it was a Colombian lady named Zanny the nanny. Part of the reason that everyone figured out what had actually happened.
Xanax,
yeah. So, she takes him on these, the cops come, she starts taking them on these fucking wild goose chases, like pretending like they're all these people. Every single thing they check into, they're like, there's no one named Zenaida who lived here. You don't even, and then they look in, they're like, you don't even fucking work at Universal Studios. Literally, why are you lying to us? Like, why are you lying to us? So bottom line is, it's this big search for the baby. Like, Nancy Grace picks it up. So everyone's like, where's this fucking baby, Casey Anthony?
Kaylee?
Did you kill the baby?
Yeah.
And
she was hot like a toddler, right?
She was like 2 or 3. So fast forward a couple months, and they find like this guy, this electrician working on like a telephone pole, finds a baby's corpse, like
in the woods.
It was literally a mile and a half from her house.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Like, if there's like, how Florida is, there's like wooded areas every couple blocks or whatever.
Yeah.
Somewhere like that.
Oh, big detail is when the mom first called, she was like, we can't find the car smells like a dead body. So long story short, here's what she did.
Well, it's the theory.
Well, yeah, let me actually make the point about her never. Okay, so she's caught red fucking handed. Okay, like, there's no one who could stand up to the questioning under She was so caught. She got caught in every single fucking lie. And she just still was like totally comfortable sitting in the box with these seasoned murder detectives because this is like the biggest story in the country.
Yeah.
So they've got their
Everybody knew
absolute
about it.
best people on this. And she's just sitting there. She's like, no, I don't know. I didn't do it. I told the truth. They're like, no, you didn't.
We think you did.
No, you didn't. She's like, no, I told the truth about everything I said. They're all, okay, you did not work here. You don't work here.
She's like, yes, I did.
This part's a lot. Every single thing you like, what are you doing? So they end up locking her up. So the mistake that the prosecutors made was they tried her for first-degree murder when it would have been easy to prove that she was responsible for the death, but impossible to prove that she murdered the baby because how the fuck would you know how she did it?
Yeah.
The body was decomposed, it was like
There was no like clear cause of death.
yeah. And she never talked. She just lied her little fucking lying face off. Never talked in the face of such overwhelming obviousness that she was lying.
Wait, what's the computer browser?
Oh yeah. So she had searched.
I remember. Yeah.
She had searched
How to get rid of-
chloroform.
yeah.
She had searched chloroform on the computer. And the mom had actually gone up on the stand and fucking lied and pretended that she was the one who had looked these things up. And
Oh, brother.
yeah, like the mom was like the biggest enabler ever.
Probably where she gets it from.
Probably. Yeah. And and then of course, Casey Anthony being the fucking gem that she is, her original defense was going to be that her dad had sexually molested her. And that's why she was the way that she was, but she didn't kill the baby, which like had nothing to do with the case. The judge threw it out. They're like, no. And like Jose Baez, her attorney, I've seen this clip a million times. He was like, the reason why she lied about being pregnant and the reason she lied about this is because when she was this age, she was always going to school and having to lie about the fact that her father's penis had been in her mouth. I was like, why? And the judge and they're like, objection. Judge is like, get over here. He's like, get the fuck out of here with that, dude. And I was like, what?
Did her dad ever take the stand? I forget. He didn't say.
He might. I think he did actually. They tried to say that the dad drowned the kid in the pool. They tried, like literally just try to put it on the parents. These parents had literally done everything for her. She's just lying, ungrateful fucking bitch. And then she tried to say that her dad molested her and killed the kid, which is not true. She's the worst person on earth.
So they think what happened is that she gave the kid too much Xanax or maybe chloroform. Who
Came
friggin'
home
knows?
to a dead kid.
Came home, put the kid in the car, and then didn't know what to do next, and left that poor little baby's body in the car
Until it started smelling.
until it started decomposing,
Yeah.
and then got rid of it, and then made up this freaking wild story. But she never got convicted because they couldn't prove murder.
Yep.
And so now she's just like free walking the streets as a psychopath. And now apparently she's an LGBTQ supporter.
Yeah, she's a supporter of that. But like she
spokesperson.
The other thing too was that like her oh my god, I just remembered this other thing and then it just literally just derailed the original thought that I had.
Sorry.
And now I forgot the other
This
thing.
is what ADD looks like in real life.
Unbelievable. It was a big important point too.
It always
about
is.
her. Whatever, it'll come to me.
My chest.
But she had a boyfriend at the time who literally, I know what it was. The reason that the craziest part about it is that she put that baby into the trunk and she would have literally, if no one asked her about the baby ever again, she literally would have just never mentioned the baby ever again. It was just that like the only reason this even happened is because her parents were like, where's our grandkid, you fucking crazy person? Because she just kept lying and lying and lying and lying and lying about where the baby was. The grandparents loved that kid more than anything. And so like eventually they just like they went and grabbed her. They're like, where's the fucking kid? And like put her in a position where she had to like, and then that's when, she ran out of the ability to just make shit up. And she's like, okay, she got kidnapped. That's how that like so even the kidnapping story is just a result of her like
just trying to deflect attention.
Just deflect. Like she's she's over here, she's over here, she's over here.
Sociopathic behavior.
Yes, exactly.
To a T.
Yeah. But hey guys, now she's in the legal field.
I can't.
I don't know, man.
Is there a video? Can we watch her?
Yeah, of course.
She's a Looney
She makes
Tune.
me very uncomfortable.
Yeah. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter. For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done.
Why are we mentioning
That's
them
not
then?
to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people.
I can't. I'm sorry. You guys can all watch this on your own time. I actually can't watch her, dude.
She's a Looney Tune.
Look at
Made the hair on your arm stand up.
man. Look at that.
That's pretty
She
bad.
gives me chills, dude. Like
She's scary.
the ability to do that straight face, like, don't worry, I'm gonna respond to my parents who made claims about me that were true. You know, it's like I don't understand. Like these people, these compulsive liars, like this very specific personality type of people who make shit up when it's so obvious they're gonna get caught in the lie. I just I don't get it, dude. Why would you tell me that your car got stolen, Jack? You know I'm friends with your brother, and he's gonna tell us that your lease was up. You think we're not gonna ask your brother about your fucking car getting stolen, you fucking lunatic? Why would you make that up?
She's crazy.
That's a true story. Anyway, so that's enough for today. Gabrielle's sweating. I'm actually hot as fuck up here, dude.
I'm like not even that hot. I'm only kind of hot, but
I need to.
I literally feel
the
like
fact that you're in a
there's-
sweatshirt up here
I'm wearing
you are
Uggs, wool socks,
Bro.
a sweater, and leggings.
there's something wrong with your
I know.
temperature
My
regulation.
temperature
It's hot as
regulation is
fuck up
a
here.
mess, and I literally feel like I can't take a full breath right now. So that's fun. Hopefully this passes soon.
I've tried to give Gabrielle a solution. She won't take it.
It's not going to help.
It's 1,000%
It's
will
not
help.
going to help.
1,000% will help.
It's not.
Anyway, all right. We love you guys.
Bye.
See you guys soon.